What is up, Janksters? It's your boy Graham, also known as HamHawks42 on the internet, and today I want to talk about the standard meta game. So, if you have played on Arena in the last week, you have probably seen a particular mono black deck that has currently been pulling a lot of attention and a lot of focus, and I think with good reason. At the end of the day, the deck is very, very popular, and, well, it's not really a surprise. It is full of incredibly powerful cards that are capable of taking over a game, all of which are basically capable of winning on their own. However, I don't believe this deck is a problem, and I want to explain that and really talk through why I think that is. So the mono black deck is comprised of a ton of incredibly powerful cards. We have Meathook Massacre, Infernal Grasp, Tenacious Underdog, Graveyard Trespasser, Liliana of the Freaking Veil, Sheoldred the Apocolypse, and Invoke Despair. One of the most aptly named cards in the game, in my opinion. These are all phenomenal cards that are very, very powerful. There are a number of other ones as well. There's Sorin, you've got, I know, Cut Down, and even Hero's Downfall is seeing a bit of a resurgence as well. These are all very, very powerful cards that are capable of taking over a game in and of their own right. And so the mono black deck is the amalgamation of all of those. The mono black list is all of the best black cards at every level, at every point in the mana curve. And it is easy to put together. It's not easy to craft, mind you. These are a lot of rares and mythics that you need to use in order to get there. But at the end of the day, you're hitting a great threat on 2, you're removing a threat on 2, you're hitting a great threat on 3, you're hitting a great threat on 4, and then Invoke Despair, once you get up to 5, is straight up a 3-for-1 on a single card. Like, it is very, very powerful. It's capable of a lot. However, you see the mono black deck be incredibly popular on the standard ladder right now. That said, especially in best of 1, when you go to best of 3, especially at the higher ranks on the ladder, and then when you also look at tournament results, the mono black deck is almost not represented at all. Granted, we don't have that many tournament results at this point. As of this recording, there are 2 big tournaments that I can think of that have occurred over the past weekend. There was the Croquis standard tournament and then the Pizza Box standard tournament as well. Both of which had Rakdos, Jund, Grixis all relatively boosted up and very, in the top. Both decks also, or both tournaments also, had mono white decks at the top of the meta, in the top 8. So, and both very different decks, by the way. One was like a low-to-the-ground aggro list, and the other was like this weird mid-range pile. It was actually really cool. That's another story for another day. But I point that out as a way of saying, yes, the black deck that we are seeing right now on the ladder is a powerful deck. However, the problem that we're experiencing is not that the mono black deck is an unbeatable deck. When we talk about problematic cards, Oko Thief of Crowns is the first one that comes to mind. Oko Thief of Crowns is a Simic Planeswalker for 3 with starting loyalty 4 that has a removal effect on a plus ability. It easily became one of the most popular and one of the most powerful Planeswalkers ever printed, and has since been banned in every frickin' format. Like, it's just, Wizards made a mistake on this one. They've even acknowledged it. Like, and it takes a lot for Wizards to acknowledge, okay, we messed that one up. And they have with this. This card is too powerful. In Standard, when it was legal for a couple of months. Actually, it took them a shockingly long time to ban it. But this was legal at a time when Simic was just the best. Green and blue had a ton of very powerful effects, and then Oko was kind of the cherry on top. When you went to a standard tournament, if it was a competitive standard tournament where people were bringing dialed in decks, you ran up against Oko or decks that were designed to destroy Oko, and that was it. That was the entire metagame. If you brought anything else, you were going to get slapped by this card. It just was inevitable. It was just so powerful. Now, do we see that today with the mono black deck? To be honest, I don't think so. Right now, I'm running a lot of Jund or Dimir, and that is beating the mono black deck very nicely. Also Rakdos is another one that answers the mono black deck very nicely. Now, you will notice, though, all of those decks that I'm mentioning have black in them. So what we have is a situation where black has become the most powerful color. That is very true. However, you cannot point to a single card that is overpowered that pushes it over the top. Is Meathook Massacre the best at what it does and maybe too good? Sure, you could make an argument. However, if you ban Meathook Massacre, you still don't get rid of Infernal Grasp, you still don't get rid of Cut Down, you still don't get rid of sheoldred, you still don't get rid of Liliana. So all of a sudden, those cards that line up very nicely against a lot of these other strategies are still around. Now, granted, getting rid of Meathook Massacre might make that deck a little weaker to aggro all of a sudden. Okay, that might be, maybe there's something to that. But at the end of the day, Meathook Massacre isn't the problem. And same is true with any of these cards. Like, Liliana is not the problem. There are plenty of ways to tech around Liliana. I mean, Liliana gets shut down by Jadar. But again, we're talking about black. It feels like the black cards are just more powerful than a lot of other cards available. It's not to say that other strategies are not possible. It's just they are more difficult to execute. And the problem that we have is not there are black, there's a card in black that is too strong. Just on average, black cards are better than the others in standard right now. Now, should we be calling for a ban? That is the big question on everybody's mind right now. And frankly, we're only a week in. In my opinion, that answer is no. We should not be calling for a ban at this point. We should wait until the metagame shifts out. And additionally, we're in a situation where the best of one ladder, or even the best of three ladder on Arena, is telling one story, but tournament results are telling another. When we're in that situation and we see the deck that is the bugaboo and the problem on the ladder get completely shut down in tournaments, the ladder will adjust. People will learn as those tournament results come out and they identify how these professional decks or these, competitive decks are teching against these problematic decks on the ladder. We'll get to a point where the popularity will decrease. Just watch. It's going to happen. Now, if in a month from now, mono black is still the thing in standard, especially in best of one, then okay, maybe we need to do something, but I don't think that will be the case. Also, we have more sets coming out as more cards are introduced. Maybe blue or white will get maybe not white. Actually, white's in a pretty good spot right now as well. But maybe blue or green or red will get these boosts that they need to be a little more competitive, because there's a lot of cool pieces in those colors right now. They just don't line up as nicely against the black deck. But even then, I'm telling you, the problem is not the black deck. Black cards are just stronger than everything else right now. Just is what it is. This is a standard that we live in. But I don't think the power disparity is as far as it feels some days. So keep that in mind. Keep brewing. Keep trying some stuff. But be aware of these black cards and know how to tech against them. Like right now, be aware that Liliana's in the meta. You will see Liliana on turn 3 a certain percentage of the time. Bound to happen. Just to be ready for it and have a plan. Whether that's a flash creature that you can get in after that -2, whether that's, a good 3-drop to follow up your 2-drop that she's inevitably going to ice. I mean, or even having cards in your hand that you want to discard, like your own Tenacious Underdogs or those kinds of things, or flashback spells, that kind of thing. Be ready. Know that she's here, and just be aware of that and tech appropriately. And be creative in your deck building. This meta can be solved. It can be broken. Don't give up. So thanks so much for checking out the video. I appreciate it very, very much. If you found this helpful, if you found this insightful, please let me know in the comments below. I'm still trying to figure out the best mix of deck techs versus talking head videos. So please let me know in the comments. I really appreciate all that feedback. I do read them all, so I'd appreciate that. Also, the like button and the subscribe button, I'd appreciate it very, very much. We're approaching 1,000 subscribers, which is the cutoff for the YouTube Partner Program. I am really, really eager to get there. If you wouldn't mind helping me out, that would be huge. So thank you so much. I appreciate you, and I'll catch you on the next one.